Hey gang, Hammersville here. So as you can see, this is a Tier 9 match. Fantastic matchmaking, really. I'm in the Mogador, Ram's in the Rune, and Pride is in the Jean Bar. And the game started with us discussing whether to go to sea. And taking a look at the enemy lineup, not a whole heck of a lot of radar. I mean, we know for sure the Atlanta has radar, of course, but unless the Chungmu took radar, which is it's an unusual choice, not impossible, but unusual. The Atlanta's probably it. So after some discussion, I opted to go to the Bravo cap in the hope of securing that, and then maybe if opportunity presented itself, racing to the Charlie cap and see what I could do there. Now, if you've played this map a few times, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. So often, you get the destroyers from either team that will run to the north side or the south side of the big island that's in the center of the Charlie cap. And they kind of get locked down there. Not always. It doesn't always work out that way, but it's common. So I thought, well, we don't have any aircraft to contend with here. So maybe, if I'm lucky, I can steal the Bravo cap and start getting us some points early, and then rush over and contest C. And presumably wouldn't be alone in that, and we can slow their points at the C cap. You can see the bulk of our team is going to the Alpha cap. Now, why am I turning outside of the cap here? Well, what I want to accomplish here is I want to reverse into the cap so I can make a hasty retreat if I need to. And I also want to make sure that I've got a really great angle on my torpedoes so that even if something comes racing around the island, I can still get torpedoes on them and outrun theirs, potentially. So that's why I position the way that I position here. And you'll see that I've got my reticule aimed a little ways into the cap. It probably wouldn't make any difference because these torpedo tubes rotate so quickly, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't get caught with them right there when something did come racing around the corner, and be unable to turn the tubes fast enough to hit something that was moving really fast. But as it turns out, nothing is going to challenge. Now you can see in the big picture, our Bismarck's taken some damage, our Chapayev has taken some damage, and our Kitakazi is almost dead. Not a great start for the good guys, but it's not over till it's over. And now heading for Charlie. Now I see that our Nachi has moved into the cap circle, so it's not as important that I race into the cap circle immediately. And I see the Gneisenau now pushing, so what I'm going to try and do, and I really wish that this bug with the replays where you can't see what someone's doing with the throttle, because I've got the throttle's wide open. I'm trying to get max speed here, and I'm just going to try and get some shells on whatever I can hit as I'm crossing this cap. And see if I can't either hit the Gneisenau or Gneisenau or get him to turn away. Now he's got 7-kilometer torps. My torpedoes have a little bit longer range than his, but if he turns out at all, there's no way that I'd hit him. But I see that the Chungmu is coming around the corner too, and that's just from keeping a really careful eye on the mini-map. And he knows now that he has my attention, so he's not going to just sit there broadside in the smoke. That's just smart play. Now I know I don't have to worry about his torpedoes at all. His torpedoes can't even hit a destroyer. See if I can't get a fire on the Gneisenau. And there we go. It's not much, but I'll certainly take it. Atlanta's just about dead. Now, why am I sitting here? Well, I want to see if anything pushes through that smoke because I want to be able to help Ram. Because it appears pretty evident to me that Ram is going to push around that corner. He's probably going to get sunk. But I want to be here to help him if I can, and he's got a perfect position to finish off that Atlanta. I'm going to turn in here to avoid whatever ugliness the Gneisenau might throw my way. It turns out Pride finished off the Atlanta. Ram's not long for this world. And those of you that know Ram know it's not unusual for him to push in to a camp circle in a cruiser. So he did. Alright, so looking at the big picture, we are down a Bismarck, a Gneisenau, a Rune, a Chapayev. Our Kitakaze is almost dead, and we've killed one enemy ship. But it's not over yet. Friedrich de Grosse on the 10 line is a player called Edge Case, and he's a very good player. And he was out there doing a lot of tanking for our team. Now, I'm trying to secure this cap, but I'm also aware that the Changmu that I landed some shells on earlier is somewhere on the north side of this island, and is presumably going to race back and try and contest. And there it is. So that's why I hit the accelerator. And right about here, when I'm going between these islands, I think my quote to Pride and Ram was, "I'm going to go murder a Changmu." And that's my goal. I'm going to try and use the speed and the guns on this ship to take out the destroyer. It's going to force me to push in to Bismarck and the Sinop. But we're down 4 ships, they're only down 1. Well, now we're down 5 ships. So we have to make something happen here. Now I'm going to use his smoke as long as I can. Now I'm detected, so now it's just how fast can I close the distance. And I'm going to be spotted when that Bismarck comes around, and there he is. He fired, he's detected. One more volley should be able to finish him off, and then I can see what I can do with the Bismarck. So that's what I'm thinking right now. As soon as he's gone, I put my attention on the Bismarck. I get the torpedo tubes ready to roll. I'm thinking about, do I want to use the reloader here or not? Because I've got rapid reload on these torpedoes, and I opted not to do that. Because I didn't need to. Now I'm going to see what I can do to finish off the mains, which is really banged up. Just not a very great shot. It was not judging his speed very well. Now he's going to turn in, or turn out, and then turn back in. He did a great job of wiggling, but I was able to land some shells on him. And you'll notice Pride's position there on the minimap. So we got Pride in the center of a triangle. I'm on one flank of the triangle, and Edge Case is on the other flank of the triangle. That is excellent positioning, people. You know, of course, I didn't have anything to do with their positioning, but they certainly knew what they were doing. Pride had just citadelled the New Orleans, and I think he said he citadelled the mains just prior to that. So he left me some scraps, and I was able to finish him off. Now, big picture. we've been able to finish off a couple of their ships, but we have 4 ships, they have 5. They have all 3 caps, and they have a 100-point lead. So right now, Pride and I were having a conversation about, okay, what do we need to do? Pretty evident the Sinop was rushing the De Grossa. I think I mentioned to Pride that it looked to me like he was trying to get the ram, take him out. So he and Pride are working on the Sinop, so it was up to me to try and stop the red points from accumulating. So I was going to race for this cap at Charlie, see what I could do to secure it. I noticed the Neptune is racing along on the south side, which I made sure that I pointed out to Pride, although I think he probably was already well aware. And I see just the mini-map positions. Okay, so Pride managed to finish off the Sinop. Mini-map position, I'm expecting somebody to come through this gap on the north side of the caps. And I know that the Neptune is on the south side. So I'm going to throw some torpedoes into that gap. You're probably not going to hit anything, but just in case. And I'm going to use AP here on the broadside of the Neptune. Now I'm in kind of a weird position because he's got torpedoes too that I have to be aware of. I see his guns, and he's obviously very focused on Pride. Now I got to be careful because somebody could come along on this gap on the south side, and you can see shells are coming in. I'm taking damage. There's the Z-46, and I can't get my guns around very quickly, so I'm just going to accelerate to try and make it a little tougher for him to hit me. I'm going to throw it in reverse, and I'm just going to try and get what citadels I can on this Neptune. So he's at 38,000, 26,000. Reversing to avoid his torps, 15,000. He's angling now to avoid my fire, which is going to make it easy for Pride. Z-46 has got me proximity spotted. And down goes the Neptune. I was able to rack up 7 citadel hits on the Neptune. I'm sure I wrecked his day. Now the Z is probably thinking he's okay because all my guns are spun around the other way. But I was able to get my torpedoes, which I still had loaded on the other side of my ship out there. And I'm just going to keep moving forward in case he managed to get torpedoes off. Don't think he could have, because he'd already thrown torpedoes out not long ago. Okay, so now the conversation turns to, we have a ship advantage. We have to secure this cap, despite the fact that the Drake is on the north end of the cap there. And then I'm going to need to race for Bravo, and if everything goes well, on to Alpha. Now, fortunately, this is a very speedy ship, and fortunately, we have edge case and a free De Grossa facing Drake. Drake does not stand much of a chance here. So, I've got my turn made, my 3-point turn, and I'm accelerating to head for Bravo. So we're talking now about where the Jean Bart is. And you can see the last known location there on the minimap. And my guess is, and we were talking about this a little bit as I was heading this way, is that he's probably going to, and down goes the Drake. Good job, edge case. He's probably going to come north in an attempt to secure Bravo in the gap between the islands at like Foxtrot 4 and 5. So you can see I've got my torpedo tubes ready to go. Goal here is to secure the cap, even more importantly than spotting the Jean Bart. Now you can see he is full health, but he's got 4 kills, so presumably the captain of the Jean Bart has some idea of what he's doing. So what we're discussing right now on voice comms was, will he be sitting in that gap just waiting to spot me? I mean, you can see my detection radius is not all that great. So what I opt to do here, rather than just running straight across, is I opt to just kind of park right here. If he comes out, I'll be able to whack him pretty hard with torpedoes. And if he does not push up here, once I have the cap, I'll run to the north end of the gap and then cross. And if he is coming this way, throw torpedoes in his face. And we have quite a hill to climb. You can see we're still down by roughly 150 points. I also want to make mention that between the three of us, myself, Pride, and Edgecase, we've taken out 10 of the enemy ships. And I got a couple of kills that really are more owed to Pride, who did 90% of the damage, and all I did was finish them off. So I throw some torpedoes out there, and I'm just going to try and make sure I don't get spotted here, because with only 1,847 hit points, I'm a one-shot kill for that Jean Bar. Now that I've got the cap, I'm going to race for the Alpha cap. As soon as I get into that cap, their points will stop. Ours will continue to accrue. We've got 2 battleships heading for their 1 battleship while I try and secure this final cap. Now I'm swinging wide here because if he is going through the gap like I think he is going through the gap, I didn't want to get detected. Now that I see his range, I know that I'm fine. That even if he hits his speed boost, I'm out of range, he won't be able to spot me, and it'll be up to me to fire or not to fire. I'm just looking to see where his guns are pointed. As soon as I see that, I know I can fire. I'm not going to be able to do much, but I'm going to do what I can. And Pride has declared that he's going to try and ram him to finish this thing off. And that is the game. This was really, really fun to play. It was an exciting come-from-behind victory. My hat is off to Spec Op Pride and Edgecase, and to Ram, who helped take out the radar cruiser early. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you the next time.